Continuing onward to Pumpkin Pastures, and we've even can do difficulty 4 now. Recommended 22. We'll play by the game's rules. Stay in our lane. Lots of arrows. And skeletons. Ooh, that's interesting. So, at one of the merchants they had this harpoon quiver, and it gives you 5, it looked like. I have to count again. Harpoons to use. Be quite fun. They seem to do a lot of range damage too. So why haven't they put just random structures like all these in normal Minecraft? Any thoughts? Anything over this way? Come on, this has to be something. We've seen these a couple times. Opens up, secret way down. Yeah. I am curious behind the creative directors of each of the different games, because they have to be different, because they all have a tendency to branch out. You look at, obviously, normal Minecraft, this, the new Legends. Do they have anything else? No. Pretty sure it's just those typical games. But they all have pretty diverse creative input, where things just have a tendency to really branch away from one another. I'd be really curious to see what would happen if they swapped them. Like, take whoever comes up with all the different creative inputs, even just the different villages. Because imagine in normal Minecraft, if you actually had a villager who was more of a unique breed. Sorry, a second thought came to my head, which was to introduce a special system of breeding. Say you took a librarian and you bred them with a blacksmith. You get a weapon merchant who sells enchanted tools. Wouldn't that be cool? Not just that. There's lots of things they gate themselves on. So, if you were to introduce a system like that, they would generally think we'll just utilize what's already in game. So, for instance, take sharpness. Sharpness up to level 5, because that's the best sharpness to play you can actually get in game, despite there being, well, not infinite, it's like 200 something different levels. Granted, at a certain point they don't matter, but even to level 10. The fact that they don't have special ways outside of the player's means to unlock those different things, it's just kind of curious to me. And there's lots of ways they can do it, and it seems like if they just took the creative direction of all the different games, sat down in a room and spread it out, they'd be able to not reinvent, but bring some new innovation back into Minecraft. Because I find it kind of awful, the content level they give us. The fact that they poll, say, 3 mobs, and then you get 1 mob every 2 years, it seems like, is the actual development cycle. It's just slow and sluggish when they could be doing a lot more, and you can see that in the modding community. The level of capability, you know, a small group or small handful of people can. And obviously the biggest thing is, a game like this has lots of content that they can remarket and resell. A game like Minecraft, once it's been bought, there's no reason for anyone to buy it again. Same with, I'm assuming Legends will follow either Dota or League, where you've got skins and all these different perks that you can buy, and they just don't have that in Minecraft. They've tried to extend it to Bedrock, but obviously I would say Bedrock... The only reason Bedrock has the player base it does is because it's almost ingrained in Microsoft. The fact that, you know, you buy a new computer and you've got access to Minecraft. If they didn't do that, the player base would not be there. The realm support is nice, but again, these are all things that it's unfortunate because it's directly from it's definitely from Microsoft taking over the game that they've incorporated these systems of more it being a business sense rather than an indie game. And that's you get that a lot with big games where a lot of time the franchises are just there to be marketed. And that's of course the case with lots of things. But with indie games, there's this big step away from that, and it is mostly putting the game first. And it's just, it's kind of sad to see. Like, the strides Minecraft used to take compared to the game nowadays, it's just, it's a bit sluggish. And it's not really fair for the fan base. Either, you know, just announce it's discontinued, rather than dragging it out and giving the fandom drips and drabs. Yeah. Anyway, those are my 2 cents. I still like Minecraft, it's a good series. But there are definitely things that could be done better, and it's just unfortunate that it's no longer an indie game, or has the indie development mindset. The counter-argument to that would be that modding communities, because there's no concise movement, you get a mishmash of things that wouldn't function all together, content-wise. How do I get up here? You guys can put me down, but it doesn't... Oh, I can. Ooh. They have a topographical map, is that how you pronounce it? Let me have a little look. Yeah, this is just not good for me. You guys come to me. Harpoons to the rescue. Geotopple? You. All of you are bad. I think another game that is a prime example is if you've ever played Dungeon Defenders. There's 3 variations now, and my understanding is they've all come about from the original company selling the rights. So you've got Dungeon Defenders Original, and you've got Dungeon Defenders 2 and Dungeon Defenders Awakening. Awakening, from what I've heard, is just horrible. It's just an utter mess, and you should never touch it. And Dungeon Defenders 2 was re-picked up by the original company with new staff, though, from my understanding, and it's somewhat of a good successor, but again, it has a lot of those play type of aspects. I mean, the original game had huge amounts of DLC, and obviously new characters and stuff like that, but the level in the second one just seems overwhelming. And then the original version has legacy support through a modding community, which I find quite interesting, that the game has relinquished itself to... I don't even know what they're called, I need to look it up. So the mod's called Redux, and it's essentially the new version of Dungeon Defenders. And it's that kind of concept that I almost wish Mojang would do, that they'd turn it over to, say, the Forge community, and let them have their way with the game. So I think they do a much better job at running it. Heck, RuneScape. RuneScape's another parallel that shares the same mentality. The fact that they went backwards to old school, and then gave, you know, everyone the creative direction they wanted, was just a smart move by the company. And it does suck because I know they get lots of pressure from above to meet certain standards and criteria and not make a game for the sake of making a game, but a game that is functionally marketable. And the only thing in old school is not subscriptions, bonds. Bonds are their marketable term, and they were more or less a downgrade because they introduced a system in which players can use gold to buy game time, or obviously just use money to buy gold. But the way the economy works in RuneScape is there is no huge need to buy gold unless you're starting out and you don't have a real good understanding. So they've kind of noodled themselves in the fact that they've created a system which was meant to bring in more revenue, but has gone the other way and reduced revenue because the amount of people just using gold to pay for time is substantial. I think leagues is their big sort of avenue into that, because you've got a lot of the community returning specifically to play leagues. Sorry, I should probably explain myself better. So, we've gotten really off topic, but essentially, if you've ever heard of the game RuneScape, it's a MMO, very old school, very pixelated, very unique art style, but a lot of love and a lot of a die-hard community, and it went through a couple iterations before it finally got back to the point of them remaking the original version, so to speak. And in that original version, it has its own creative directive away from the current 2022 model of RuneScape. And that is the sense that I think a lot of indie games turned hugely successful should try to follow, is they should shy away from sticking to their guns and give the game in 2 iterations. One, to the community and to the people who actually love the game and want to see it a certain way, and then obviously maintain development in the scheme of making it, because RuneScape normal, I think it's this RuneScape Classic, the normal version of RuneScape that is highly monetized does still see a lot of play and still has a community, but it's separate to the original community. And you can maintain that sense of different communities within the same game and not have conflict. And it's healthier for the game development. Obviously, it's not completely healthy for the company, because they obviously lose out on... They would rather turn all the customer base they have on the more monetized version and cut away anyone who still plays the less monetized version. But it's towing that line that I would like to see done more, where people can sort of invest, you know, in a franchise for a lot longer than what should be. I mean, Minecraft has done fantastically. It has sustained... I don't even know how long. When was the original? 2008? 2006? It's almost 2 decades, or it might even be 2 decades. And it's just, they could do so much more with it, and they could create so much more if they looked to these other models and these other games that have successfully achieved what they're trying to do with the different versions. Because you could still have Bedrock and you can have Java, just separate of one another, accomplishing different goals for the different player bases that use them and enjoy them. Shackle. Oh, Sickles. I read that as Shackles. Because there's obviously a lot of creative things they could input into Minecraft. It's just where and when. And to be honest, I feel RPG elements would be better suited for Bedrock, given what I understand of the playbase, and then more technical, creative input would be greater for Java. That's why I really feel them giving it over to, say, Forge, and letting them make it more mod-friendly, not necessarily do any main game features, but really focus the back end would be just a great thing. And it's just my 2 cents, and obviously the logistics of it would be a nightmare, and it's not something that could realistically ever happen, but it's just wishful thinking. Anything over here? No. Oh. So what is the point of this little area? I just... F. I can stop after that mouthful. Trap is the area. Okay, so waves don't summon till... 100% is even really good. You don't teleport unless you get near me. And we have tons of arrows for it too. You blow this up, is that the rationale? No. Oh, there's a pressure button. Of course. Here I am overthinking things. So I need to find the ender bill. Ah, speak of the devil. TNT from 2. Just don't right click. No matter what. We're stuck in some web. I kinda need to right click. Over there just seems like a nightmare. Ooh, let's give it a bell. 3. And our right click. After all that, just right click. Alright, so the boss is down there. Probably want to wait for our potion to come back. Looks like we've still got a little bit. Yeah. This area reminds me of Dragon Age. Inquisition, if you're wondering. The intro area for that, the walk up to the first boss, is very much like this. Interesting weapon, and a way out. Where it puts us. Should be near the actual main area. We've done a good job at tying them together. Okay, nope. Is the exit over that way? Is that what that's showing me? Boy, it is. Okay, so I'm missing a button, obviously. Then that goes down and we can go up. Have to be near the chest. So blind sometimes. Wait, up. No, I guess I'm wrong. Just meant to go back the way I came. Wow, that's a lot of walking. Eesh. Probably come back then. So there's probably a better way to do it. The 2 sort of castles are probably connected. Oh well. Ooh, 2 levels. Doesn't even throw that far. Hey, little Joel. There. Neat little raw bridge. Mouthful for me. Okay. Ice tank. Scale mail. Our reward. Probably a decent upgrade too. God, our bow is just so good. I can actually just go straight for the ending here. Since we have the eye. Don't need to worry too much. Though there's probably secret areas like before. What else? Other flaming river. Wonder if you can double dip. So if I can use the Harpoons as well as like that flaming river. Probably not because it replaces the slot. I'll probably use one or. Yeah. I need to just use the bow. Our weapons have dropped off a lot. We have a lot of arrows anyway. And piercing too. Makes it pretty decent for clearing. These are like the upgraded mobs. They have like random effects. Fly chest. Yeah, so it seems like this map is longer than the others. Do inventory. So should we swap our weapon? Go for it. Busy bee. After defeating a mob. Do more damage. Flame. And just gold. Deals substantially more damage. Sorry, daggers, I did like you. We'll do our B. This is probably slower. It sweeps. Yeah. Not seeing any bees. There's one. I missed the daggers already. We've also got sickles somewhere. The bees seem pretty good. See under this tree. Find the villagers. What are we doing? Something in the middle here. Villager raid. Be my guest. Bee's actually pretty strong. This heal summons? Yes, it does. It does. It's really good. Be using my wolf as well. Oh, he has a range. Makes it a lot easier. Exit, I take it.
You did it. And the villagers of the pumpkin
Slightly
pastures
longer.
go on to fight another
We didn't
day.
even full clear. See what we got. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my little random discussion / rant. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.